You are listening to Insights with Kathleen. Please join me while I share my insights and experiences with the hope to inspire you to look inside of yourself for the answers that you already have. As with all information we receive, take what speaks to you and leave the rest. Welcome back to Insights with Kathleen.
What's up, guys?
We got Cherry here, and we're about to start episode 9.
Episode 9. We're almost on double
Season
digits.
1. Isn't this exciting?
This is exciting. We've been we've been really chugging out episodes. I love it.
Me too. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And you know what, Cherry? Since we're having a love fest, I thought today
Yes.
I'm going to come up with the topic. Are you ready?
All right, I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. So I think today, in light of the upcoming Valentine's
Day?
What
did you put that day? You're like,
I wasn't sure. Is it day? Is it weekend? Is it month? What is it? I just thought we would talk about how we could show appreciation to loved ones, or maybe we can also talk about what's Valentine's Day mean to you.
Oh, of course,
You know, what it means for me, and just in general, how can we carry that through for the rest of the year, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
All right, so I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so the world knows Valentine's Day because Hallmark is really great, and and we have like two sides of the holiday, like two views on the holiday.
Yes.
Like it's not really a holiday, it's a fake holiday. It's something that, you know, store owners or card makers made up so that they can make money and get people excited and blah, 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 blah. And then there's the other side of the spectrum where it's romantic, it's lovely, and then all this pressure's put on to couples to perform in certain ways, whether it's with the flowers, the candies, to remember it, the cards, the dinners.
Of course. Like, then people just get mad if you don't. It sucks because it's one of those, like, oh, it's like a surprise. But it's like, if you don't do it, then, like, people are going to chew you out.
Right. And then on the other end of that spectrum, what about those people who are not coupled?
Exactly.
Right? And then it's level
Single Awareness Day. It is. I'm part of that group.
So I was going to say the same thing.
Like, in case you guys were wondering.
Yes, and my phone number is no. I'm kidding. The thing is I guess when I was younger, Valentine's Day was always like a pang of loneliness in my heart, right? Like lack, like you felt a level of lack.
Oh, for sure,
in some way. But now, like as I've lived through many of them, and if I added them all up, most of them single, and I've totally embraced it. It doesn't mean that I can't love on me. Right?
Honestly, yeah, that's what I'm like slowly learning too.
And for me, there's Cherry, and maybe this is just the darker side of me.
All right, let's hear it. I want to hear it right now.
For the people that I do know who are coupled, I kind of like to play with it a little bit, like when Valentine's Day comes around. And if I happen to know that the one side of the couple is a little lacking in the planning area.
Yeah.
Depending on how playful I'm being, I could take several approaches, right? And the one could just be to nudge them and to say, don't forget, because, so-and-so, will either like be upset at you or you'd really knock it out of the park if you remembered early and planned ahead.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I do some of those just because I don't know, because I can, and I'm being bad. I'll say that right out
That's
loud.
really funny. Like, don't forget the heart-shaped chocolate.
And it may be in part, if I was truly being honest, maybe in part that I am playing out my own fantasies.
Oh, vicariously. Oh my gosh. I will I'm raising a hand. I vicariously like live through people too. Cause I'm like, I got nothing going on, but like, here you go. Here's like, an idea. I don't have anyone to spend that with, but here's an idea kind of thing.
Right. But then too, I don't focus on that. There's not a significant in my life. Like, so I don't necessarily focus on that because let's be honest. That's by my choice.
Yeah.
Right now, it is by my choice, and I'm totally fine with it. I do love the colors that come out, the red and white. Definitely love the candy.
Oh my gosh,
and
yes.
the pink, right?
Yes.
But who's to say that I can't do something special for me? right?
Ooh, yes.
So we're really going to step into that whole love yourself in the right way. I mean, we've talked on previous podcasts where part of loving yourself is making sure you have a regular schedule because your body likes that. Eating healthy and, around the same time every day, getting sleep, the right amount of sleep to sustain your physical being, as well as go to bed at the same time every night, get up at the same time every morning. It helps with the rhythms of the body.
Oh, for sure.
And then it also helps along with your brain health and all these other wonderful benefits we won't get into because the podcast isn't that long. So why not romance oneself?
Honestly, I was thinking the same thing because, a lot of times, I mean, for me, people will come up to me and they'll be like, again, they'll be like, I love Valentine's Day because I've been dating so-and-so for many years. And I'm like, good for you. That's not really me. Or some people are just like, it's just a day. All right. And they're very cynical about it. I take it as a weird approach because I love holidays. I like any excuse to have a party. Well,
or to play.
Honestly, because it's fun. One, I love Valentine's Day because I just wait the next day till Valentine's Day is over and I buy all those chocolates from me because
that's on sale.
That's on sale because I'm like, you know what? I love me and I deserve it. Two, I think I focus on like, all right, I'm not usually dating someone. And when I did date someone, it was a lot of pressure. But I usually am like, all right, who's the person I'm going to, I don't know if romance is the word, but do something nice for. And I think I did something for my friend a couple of years ago because he's like, I hate Valentine's Day because I have nobody. And I was like, you know what, buddy? I'm going to give you a surprise. I went and got his favorite chocolates. I got him some flowers. I made like a giant poster and made a caricature of my face and said, hey, will you be my Valentine? And it was like something funny on it. And there was like a checkbox on it. And it was huge. And I got balloons and I got everyone in school involved in it. And I was like, you know what? I wasn't dating this person, but that was still fun to do. Mm-hmm. So,
So he was your friend-tine?
He was my friend-tine, guys. I'm a homosexual. Anyway.
And I am not.
And you are not. But yeah, he was like my friend-tine. And I did it for another friend of mine the other year. And I was like, you know what? This will just be a thing that I do. I'm like, oh, I like that kind of thing. But yeah, so I just, I don't focus too much on like the significant other because I feel like it's super expected. Not saying you shouldn't do anything for your significant other. I think that's great. But I'm like, it's really fun. A friend who's like having a bad day or just like, whatever, and be like, hey, buddy, I was thinking about you.
And that's really sweet, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're single.
Yeah.
And you have some other friends that are single. Why not just have a single time?
Mom, I have to break it down for you. Kathleen, can I use your first name? So they have something like that. It's when a bunch of women get together and they're single and they hang out on Valentine's Day. It's called Galentine's Day.
Well, you are right. Very good.
So there's Galentine's Day.
But you know what? For as much as I admire Galentine's Day, because it's the girls getting together.
Yeah.
Well, if we were just a little inventive and we got some of the single guys together.
True. Why don't guys do that? They could play. I don't know.
Well, because they would have to plan it, because they would have to then, think about it. And let's face it, if they're single and they don't have somebody, there's a lot of pressure taken off.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, for sure.
Let's go watch the game. That's about the extent of it.
Honestly,
or at least and you know what? And I could be so wrong. I'm just over assuming here and over what do you call it?
Assuming, I guess, yeah.
Assuming that gender right there.
Yeah.
Right? But before we get too far down this rabbit hole, because I really don't want to go down that rabbit hole, what I do want to share though is Valentine's Day. I think it's just like it's one of those days where you have an opportunity to be creative.
I love it, yeah.
And it's also an opportunity to manage to expectations and attachments.
Your favorite ones. No. What? Callback.
So, in my lifetime, I've had the blessings of many friendships and some, with couples. And I'll hear at least one of the partners say, he just doesn't think to do blah, 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 blah. And it's just going to be another one of those. And it's not just for Valentine's Day. It could be for birthdays. It could be for anniversaries. It could be for any of those celebratory couple-y things, right? and mainly this is just from the females that I hear it, because not too many of the guys share this with me. But the female partners will be upset, and they want him to read her mind.
Yes.
And they want him to just do it and surprise them. And then they feel victimized by the fact that he didn't do it. Right. Yeah. So first of all, for those out there listening, people really are not mind readers.
They're not.
No. So, and yes, we may drop hints, but it's been my experience, and this is just solely my experience. I'm not an expert at this. But it's been my experience. The guys don't pick up on hints very well.
No, they don't.
They need it smack in their face. Well, no, I love that. Yeah. Right? I love that. I know that when I'm working with that particular audience, I need to hit them right between the eyes with exactly what it is that I want.
I want flowers, and they need to be yellow.
But but here's the thing: if I, as a female, or in this, if I'm in this relationship, and as that female, and there's a something that I want, well, then create it. Why am I going to allow someone else to make that creation they can never see that's developing in my head? Because I don't think that they've come up with that technology yet where you can stick like a little wire on your forehead and somebody else can see what's playing in your imagination.
We're so close, but not yet. We're just going to be vacations on the moon, but not that yet.
So I encourage those out there who could be listening and who has those attachments or expectations about what could
don't worry, that's humming noise. That's someone in the other room. You're fine. You did not see the white light.
Oh my goodness, that's really that noise is pretty, but where's that coming from?
It's from behind you. You're good. You looked at me, you're like, am I okay, Sherry? I'm like, you're good. Just don't go towards the light. All right. Sorry. It's okay. Planning, mind readers, no technology, Elon Musk.
As you can see, we're having a lot of fun right now.
Having a lot of fun.
Just if there is like a special place you want to go, if there is a special weekend you want to have, and you want this romantic whatever, then lay it out. Plan it.
Yeah.
You know, let go of that part of your ego where he's got to surprise you with it, or he's got to pull together, or he's got to put in all this effort. There's nothing wrong with assigning jobs either. Like if you say, you know what, I really want to go here for this weekend. This would be really great to do this, either whether it's for our anniversary of whatever, of meeting, dating,
of holding hands,
marrying, kissing, whatever.
Who has an anniversary of kissing?
Who knows?
You're not an adult.
It doesn't matter. But I mean, whatever it is, like I don't want to judge. Whatever it is that you like to celebrate, I think we need more of that. We need more celebrations.
We need one for the first time we met, and we don't have one, and I'm very upset.
We need to work on that.
We'll work on that.
Okay. But go ahead and plan it. Book the place, and then give him jobs. Say, okay, so this is what we're going to do, or make it fun for both of you. Just because you're the one who's initiating it doesn't make it less unless you make it less.
Right.
So I'm going to just pause there for a minute so you can hear that, right?
All right. Say for the people in the back.
Okay. So for the people in the back, just remember, just because you're planning it doesn't mean it makes it less unless you make it less.
Oh, for sure.
Right. So that being said, you don't always have to spend a lot of money or really even leave the house to plan something that can be very romantic and feel like you've gone somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
So can I share some of my creative ideas?
Yes, I want to. Give me those insights, Kathleen.
Okay. So you could, like if you have a tent, like a pop-up tent.
Yeah.
Why not clear the furniture out of your living room and put the tent up in the living room?
Ooh, okay.
And inside the tent, you can put some of the battery operated like little twinkle lights.
Yeah.
You can put a little table in it, or just put in like a blanket with some pillows around it.
Ooh.
Definitely no burning candles because you'll melt your tent. But
true.
You could do the twinkly lights, right? Get a lot of those.
I like that.
You can put some flower petals down if you want to. You can prepare like a little snack, whether it's cheese and grapes and a couple glasses of wine if you drink wine. You know, just something simple like that. You can even just order food for delivery of your favorite restaurant and have it delivered.
Oh,
and
nice.
then you can serve it up that way.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes. And if you don't have a pop-up tent, no sweat. You can make a tent blanket.
Like a fort?
Like a blanket out of tent. Yeah, like a fort.
A fort. Ooh, yes.
I mean, like, how much fun would that be as an adult going back and doing something that's a little childish, right?
Honestly, my favorite times are when I'm doing something childish. So there you go.
Another thing you could do is, most people will eat their meals like at the kitchen table or the dining room table. And if you don't have the pop-up tent, why not move your table to a different room?
Ooh.
In the house.
Okay.
Or in the apartment or set it up in a different way. And what?
No, I was just thinking, right? So say if you're like living in an apartment house, whatever, and you get a table, and you actually did this for your son and his girlfriend, but you just like set up the table and it's all romantic. You get it from like a restaurant that you like order in, and then you like put twinkly lights and you like, I don't know, you set an ambiance, a lot of candles. Don't burn your place down, but like, just a little, just like, maybe like the flicker candles or something. And it's like you're in a restaurant, but it's like just you there, and it's the best part about a restaurant.
Yeah, and you just think out of the box a little bit about, what could you use? So maybe you don't have a big place. Maybe you don't have a table from the kitchen that's easily movable. So for my son and his girlfriend, we used a little bistro table that usually sits outside.
Nice.
And we brought it in with the metal chairs, and then we just covered the chairs with like a tablecloth, and we put a pillow on top of the chair.
Ooh, I
like a
that.
decorative pillow, and then we threw a couple layers of tablecloths over the outside table, so it made it feel rich.
It did look very rich, guys. It did.
And then with the lighting is everything, and it doesn't cost a lot to do that. And some of it you probably already have around your house. So the idea is just to go and look with a different lens of like, how can I create this feel and this atmosphere using objects around the house in a different way?
I like that.
So if you don't have a bistro table, maybe you have like a little bookcase or like crates that maybe you can turn over a crate and put like a tray on top or something like that.
Get a box.
You could get a box.
Literally get a box and then just put something hard on top so the food don't fall through.
Just don't lean on it.
Don't lean on it, or else, there goes the food.
Yeah, or it could be, like the totes, right? The tote containers, and you're throwing some a tablecloth over the tote containers. And then again, you put like a little piece of wood even.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of thinking out of the box a little differently. And then if you really have a small place and you don't have a whole lot of furniture, indoor picnic works really nice too.
People, you know what? People underestimate how romantic and cute picnics are. It's so easy to make. You literally just buy the food or just make the food and then pretty much, do it inside, do it outside. Do it in a park. I don't know. I mean a picnic, guys. I mean a picnic. That's what I mean.
Yeah, the it parts are way up to you guys. We're not.
Yeah, it's up to your discretion. But I'm talking about eating food and having a picnic. That's really cool. Now, Kathleen, I have a question though.
Okay.
I'm a person and I am single. What should I do for Valentine's Day?
Well, what brings you joy? Right.
Food.
There you go. So what's wrong with you? Maybe you have a friend who's single too, and you just want to hang out, and so maybe you make a date with them. Or if it's just you, like for me, I enjoy the quiet time to me because I don't get that very often.
I can imagine.
So for me though, I do enjoy watching a movie, whether it's a romantic movie or an action-packed movie with an underlining romance inside
what
the movie.
What movie are you talking about? You're talking about a very specific movie. It better not be Transformers. I'll kill you. No.
And then maybe I might...
you did not answer my question.
I'll get back to your question. And maybe I'll take my bistro table and put it out there and just set it up for myself.
That's cute.
Yes. And maybe it's not even a movie. Maybe it's a breakfast. Because sometimes, just not eating in the kitchen, but sitting at that little bistro table in my living room on the side near my plants. I feel like I'm like in a little... greenhouse kind of a deal. Ooh. And it just feels lovely.
That does feel really nice.
Put the open the curtains and have the sunshine in, and I might have my gluten-free bagel with my nice cup of hot tea, and then I just sit there and I savor it, and I just take that time for me, whether it's with a book or just sitting there enjoying and tasting and feeling, right?
That's fair. I like to treat myself, guys, because I like to eat my happy time, right? When I'm like alone with myself and I'm like, this is Sherry time, which I've learned to appreciate because I never appreciated that before. I buy myself a really nice steak. I'm like, ooh, I'm getting a nice steak. I get like all the seasonings. I like get my favorite, I guess, water, juice. I don't know. I have a particular brand of water that I like. I'm very weird. And then I get like some vegetables on the side and I'm like, and I sit in my like bed and I'm like, ooh. Yes, watching my favorite show. No one's disturbing me. I think I might do that for Valentine's Day.
There you go. That sounds great.
It's like really, it's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So the movie thing, there's a couple of movies that I actually like, but I'm kind of weird. So I go from the really girl stuff to some of the really boy stuff, and
I want to know what movies you like because you're just like, girl, boy. I'm like, she's going to say Transformers and I just want her to say it.
No, it's not really Transformers. I do enjoy the Marvel movies.
Okay.
Though I I can't really watch them too often or too many in a row. I get too anxious watching them, even though I've seen them all and I know how they all end.
Yeah.
I still it's just because of all the action and the stuff that goes on there and the violence that's in there. It just really hurts me to the core, and the people that die, that hurts me to the core. The what is it? There's the Jupiter. There's this Jupiter movie.
Oh, I thought you were talking about WandaVision. I was like, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, no. But there's this other movie, and it's action packed, but there's this underlining romantic story. So now that I've already seen it all the way through, and it took me 3 watches so that I can watch it all the way through.
Why?
Because again, when it gets the action gets too intense, my heart can't take it.
Are you?
And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm feeling it all in my body. You remember that other episode we talked about, feel the feels, and
yes,
how
feeling the
you
feels.
feel it in your body. Well, my breathing starts. I start breathing harder. My heart's racing, and I'm exhausted. And I'm like, okay, I have to go watch something else because I can't.
That's so interesting you say that.
So now that I watched it all the way through, I like to watch movies over again. But this one, I'm like, all the real intense places, I'm like, fast forward.
You're like regular parents when they say something too sexual on screen. If you see something too violent, you're like, fast forward. It's too much. It's too much. The romance part, I don't mind. That's funny. That's really interesting because for me, whenever I watch violent movies, I laugh a little too much. I don't know why, but I guess it depends on what
makes you uncomfortable.
You know, that would explain a lot. I've been to funerals and I laugh the most, and I don't know why. So there you go. A little window into who Sherry is. Don't bring me to a funeral, I guess.
Oh, no. Well, Sherry, what other insights or what other ideas do you have for people who may be wanting to celebrate an anniversary or Valentine's Day? Is there anything else that you can think of that they could do that's a little bit outside of the box?
Wow. Okay. I'm trying to think because like for so many years I've had a lot of friends tell me how much they hate Valentine's Day. So the inners in me is trying to be like, hey, here's something you could do for yourself for Valentine's Day. So maybe I might be able to provide that. Yeah, like you said, like eating your favorite food and, doing that. For couples, wow. I wish I was more original. I don't have much practice with couples because I haven't done it, but you had like some really good suggestions of like the ordering out, the decorating the room. Honestly, the ambiance is everything. When you go to a restaurant, that is what you're paying for, I feel like. Mm-hmm. And if you could just make the room look cute, because there's so many DIY things that you could see. And like people are like, oh, like I have to get this like heart-shaped thing, heart-shaped that, and like whatever. You could literally just make your own and make a beautiful box and just like put things in it, because I know a lot of times people will go to stores or whatever or buy these expensive things. But like, honestly, just decorating things, that could also be really cute. Like if you want to give someone something, you could like just get a plain box, maybe like put some hearts or like maybe some, things like that. So I guess my big thing is like, hey, you don't got to buy everything. Kathleen over here is like the queen of not buying anything. I remember my mom and I came a while back for a tea party, and I didn't know what to expect, but she made it look so professional. She had like a little mini board, and she wrote in chalk, and she had like this carousel of sandwiches. And I don't think she spent an arm and a leg, but she just was like, hey, here's like these little cucumber sandwiches. Here's some heart-shaped sugar that I got apparently. And
actually I made those.
Yeah, exactly. She made those because she's that cool.
Well, you can find just about anything out there.
You can.
If you just search it, and how-tos. So if you come up with a plan and you think, okay, this is kind of, like a sketch of a plan. It's kind of my idea. It's kind of where I think I want to go with something. So you sketch that out. Go search it. If you don't know how to do it, go search it. So the tea party, was a lot of fun. We had different levels, right? So when you're serving up food, so if you want to do something bigger and fancy, maybe for Valentine's Day, you want to get the moms together. Like if you were
moms love being
right?
with, that'd be fun.
So maybe like I get that couples would like to just have their romantic time together, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
but
no
maybe
shade.
again, if you're not a couple, maybe the Valentine's Day is with the mom, or invite your dad, or do something nice for the parental units together, or just for your siblings, depending on what your circumstances are, your roommates, your friends. And you could do a tea party. That's another good suggestion, Cherry. Very good.
That is.
And if you don't have the different serving platters that raise, that are on a pedestal, you can make your own pedestal. You can use paint
literally
cans.
Making our own pedestal. That is, I love that.
You can even just turn over, another bowl and put a plate on top. And raise it up. And the dollar store has all kinds of fun things that you can play around with. And again, it's just thinking differently about the stuff you have.
Exactly.
And with COVID going on, because we are still there, this can help, right? So you don't have to feel like you're missing out on something.
Oh, for sure.
Just because maybe certain areas are under restriction still yet for eating out, or eating in a restaurant, or whatever those things are. Make your table at home feel like that. And that's really all that it is.
Yeah. It's almost like a beauty is in the eye of the beholder thing. My favorite thing I love to do for people is like, what do they personally like, and just make it a thing. Like I don't know. My friend, actually, a friend of mine knew I liked this particular show. It was a cartoon, and she made me a cartoon flip book.
Nice.
But that's like not your stereotypical like, oh, here's a friend, get her flowers. So like, I also encourage you guys, like, your significant other or your friends, what is something they like, and maybe like explore that.
Right, or just if it's you, right?
Yeah.
They like you, so why not a gift of your talent?
Exactly. Write them a song. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I'm just saying, there's so many different types of talents out there.
Oh, for sure.
Don't be afraid to share your gift of talent.
Exactly.
Whatever that is.
I had a friend of mine for my birthday. She's really good at art. She actually, because she calls me Cher Bear, and she got me a shirt, and she drew a giant picture of a Care Bear and wrote Cher Bear the Care. And that's really sweet. And it's not something you'd be like, oh, Sherry, like, so it's all about thinking outside the box, and like kind of changing your perspective. Because I know a lot of people, it is, sad, like, with the restaurants closing and stuff like that. But it's like, ooh, let's change our lens. Like, you know what? We're going to do this fancy thing. You know what? People like massages. Ooh. If you know how to massage, get some oil.
Yeah, grapeseed oil. That's all you need.
Grapeseed oil. Be like, hey, I don't do this every year, but here's a massage. Or that's like something that people could do. In terms of that, and like, for any of you single, because I know a lot of people who would be like, Valentine's Day, think of it like, here's a loving day for yourself.
Yes.
Change the lens, change the narrative. Maybe you want to do something nice for your parent. Maybe you want to do something nice with your friends or somebody because that's what I always thought of it as. That's why I never hated Valentine's. I actually love Valentine's Day, because I'm like, wow, I get to do something really nice for my friend that maybe needs it or doesn't know I'm doing it. And I used to do that every year. And one thing, a big thing that I would say for people is like, a little goes a long way. You want to know what my mom does every year for me for Valentine's Day?
What?
Every year, she always buys me Cadbury eggs.
Aww.
And it's something so small, but it's something that makes me so happy every year because she knows I love them, and and then she's just like, hey, here's some Cadbury eggs, and actually she won't even tell me. She'll just leave it on my bed, and I'm like, oh, so like little goes a long way. Maybe write a note, write a poem, do you know?
Right. It doesn't really have to be that big.
Yeah.
And I think in light of all that has happened and where we are and how people may be feeling, this is an opportunity to spread joy.
Yeah.
And again, to spread joy, it doesn't really have to cost anything but a little effort.
Exactly.
And a little perspective.
Of course. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So not that I'm promoting the commercialism of such things, but since it already exists, why not take advantage of that?
What, Hallmark? Honestly,
not just not of Hallmark per se, but just of a holiday or a day where people can celebrate certain things. So instead of looking at it like, oh gosh, darn this thing, like, you know, in your heart pang and seeing it as lack, why not celebrate?
Honestly, yeah. And I think that also ties into what you usually say, your 3 favorite things: letting go of resistance, attachments, and expectations. And I think, I'm not speaking for everyone, but I know for me personally, when I didn't like Valentine's Day some years, I'd be like, oh, there's this expectation that I should be with someone, or there's this expectation of like, oh, I have to take them to a really fancy thing. And you put that on yourself when really you can just acknowledge, hey, it's a day. Think of it the day of love and just call it that. Don't think of it as like Hallmark this, or I have to buy that, or I have to look at cute couples. You don't have to do anything. No. Honestly, you can I don't. I'm just like, hey, I just want to watch a nice movie and hang out with myself or with somebody else.
Very good. And
thank you.
And we're sharing this just basically to say that if you happen to be one of those people who did view it in that way or felt a level of lack in some way, please know that you're not lacking anything.
You're not.
And why not turn it around to an opportunity to spread some joy?
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're not feeling it, then there's got to be other people who aren't. And so maybe that's your calling, is just to say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to write a little Post-it note and give it to somebody and hope that they have a smile. Not that you're expecting the smile or you're attached to a smile or no smile, but just the fact that you feel good that you tried.
Exactly.
Right?
You're just like, the effort is what counts.
Yeah, and you might be surprised about what comes back around.
Honestly, that has happened to me before, where, you know, like, spread a little goodness, someone waxing the face with a wave of kindness, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know I was going to get that today.
Yeah, and I think that's because then you're putting it out there.
Yeah.
That, hey, you know what? I'm going to give this. And it's not because you have an attachment of receiving back as much as this is bringing me joy. And it's in the giving, the joy of giving, whatever that sentiment is.
Yeah.
Big, small, or just whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then the universe is like, oh, look, this brought them joy. So we're just going to send some of that their way, and then more that way. And the more you put it out there, the more it's going to come your way. So, you know, that old saying of what goes around comes around.
Exactly.
I mean, there really is some
truth,
something to it.
Yeah, because I would tell you a lot of times, like, you know, I would be in situations where I, you know, spread some kindness, and then someone's like, you know what, I want to buy this for you, or I want to give you this. And I was like, what? And it's it's really nice.
Well, Cherry, thanks for playing with me today as we talked about the creative side of Valentine's Day.
Of course,
and,
of course.
And I hope that this was helpful to you and to those who are listening. And we'd like to thank everyone for joining us.
Yeah, of course. I had a great time, and I think that was really informative, and now I have like a new perspective on Valentine's Day.
You're so awesome.
So are you. I love you, man.
And thanks, everybody, for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Remember that you are bigger than anything that you are going through or anything that is happening around you.